We're seeing some prices go up, with some of our sold and pendings going record lows in the last 10 years. What happened in the Reno real estate market for all of Northern Nevada? Let's take a look. Before I get started, I wanted to let you know I am starting a new option on the video where you can actually scrub through the video timeline, and you should be able to see different chapters of the video so you can get to the specific parts that you want to see. So if you want to see Carson City numbers first, you can click on it to get right to it. Or if you go into the description box below, you'll be able to click on it right there as well to fast forward to those spots. So just a new little thing to make it a little bit easier for you to get these stats. Well, let's take a look at prices, and wow, we actually saw home prices go up for Reno Sparks, up to $551,000. So up over $10,000 from last month. If you look over the last 13 months, you can see that year over year, we're actually up over last year, so that's good news. Last year, from October to November, went down. This year went up, so that's good news for those homeowners out there. This is a new slide, and you're going to see a few new slides in here. And this first one is going to be comparing prices from this year versus last year. So red, and it has the little option at the bottom here. Red is going to be October, gray is November, and black is December. We don't have December's numbers yet, obviously, but this is going to kind of help us see and what to expect for 2022 December. But you can see that traditionally, we see prices dip a little bit lower in December versus November. So even though prices did go up in November, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw those numbers be a little bit lower in December. We've been watching price drops and what's happening in the area, and we're starting to see a steady decline in price drops for November. Got pretty steep there towards the end as well. So good news is it seems like maybe the market's starting to balance itself out, correct itself a little bit, but we still got some work to do. We'll talk about that. One of the things that still is very high is median days to contract by month. So on average, it is taking 48 days to get an accepted offer on a listing. So definitely taking a bit more time than where we were. But if you look at the price ranges, you can see how big they can change. And obviously the 1 to 1.5 million at 90 days is definitely affecting the rest of them. So some price points can take it a bit longer, and you can see that, you know, some of them are lower. The 2 to 300,000 price range, 28 days, $5 to $600,000, only 37 days. So definitely varies on that. Let's take a look at our sold listings, our new listings, and our inventory over the last few months. You can see that inventory has declined even more since last month. Look at the new listings from 537 last month to 285 for November. So we definitely, and we normally tend to see, we skip a week essentially in November because of Thanksgiving. We don't really see many people list their home Thanksgiving week. So that is something to consider into those numbers. But yeah, we did definitely see a lot less new listings hit the market, and we're going to look at that more detail here soon. Now let's take a look at those new listings over the last 10 years, since 2012, and how it compares. Again, this is another new graph, and you can see that November will be the gray line across, comparing to the red line, which is October. So you can kind of see the last 2 months, what they compare to the last 10 years. And you can see for October and November, new listings are lower than any of those other bars for that particular month. So definitely seeing a lot less activity. What I'm feeling and what others seem like they're feeling in the market is definitely everyone's just holding up. Buyers are hitting pause because of interest rates, and sellers are hitting pause because they don't think there's enough buyers out there to get what they want. Maybe they thought they missed the boat. There's a few different things out there. So we're seeing that type of thing. And I think that's definitely slowed down the market a bit. So, and also a lot of those buyers that hit pause because of the interest rates, that's why the sellers are hitting pause on the interest rate as well, is because they have to sell and then buy as well. But they're sitting on a, 3% interest rate, and they don't want to jump to a 6, 7+ interest rate. Taking a look at the pending Under contract homes, you can see same thing, lower every single month for October and November. So definitely interesting there. Finishing off with these would be the closed sales on here, and we can see lower in all of those as well. Also, I'd point out on this graph, you can see the last 2 months trending downward. So October, November, December, kind of stair-stepping down there. Are we going to see that for December as well? Meaning we'll have less closed sales then as well. Because notice, there's never been this low closed sales in these months before. So are we going to see even lower? We'll find out. Let's talk inventory a little bit more in specific price ranges. How many homes are available at the price you're looking for? You can see every single price point in here did drop for the number of choices available, options available in November instead of October. So, I mean, $300,000 to $400,000, only 63 homes available on average in November versus the 108 in October. We'd like to also look at the month supply of inventory. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Like I said, there's parts that are definitely very much a buyer's market. According to this, says it's a seller's market, but that's not necessarily the case. I think it's a great seller's market if you price your home correctly. That's the big thing. It can be considered that, but that's the big conversation to have. I've put homes on the market just this last week. I unfortunately had to put a new listing back on the market, and within 2 days on the market, we had a full price offer. So that is a potential as well, but we have to make sure we price it to sell. And that's why we need to get together. Now that we looked at it on the grand scheme of things, let's take a look at month supply of inventory for homes for sale. And you can see here, 1.4 months for the $300,000 to $400,000 price range. I thought that was really interesting. Big drop in there. And obviously very much a buyer's market. There are buyers I'm shopping with actually in that price point and for a condo townhome. And we've been looking for months now and haven't found that right one. So there are people out there just looking, waiting for that right one to hit the market to act on it. So if you are considering selling, there could be a buyer just waiting for your home to hit the market. So definitely don't hold off right now until you at least talk to me to see if it's the right time. Now, before we jump into the hyper-local markets of Reno, Sparks, Carson City, and all that, I wanted to show this graph to you. I thought it was interesting because someone was saying, hey, Garrett, I heard home prices are going to drop another 25%. Now, let's take a look and say, hey, if home prices did drop 25% from today, what would that mean in terms of where we went back to? So if we went back till we dropped 5%, where would we? That'd be just July of last year. If home prices dropped 10%, where would that take us? That would be same price to the homes of April of last year. 15%, February of last year. It was very active last year, as you can tell. If home prices dropped 20%, that would be September of 2020. And if home prices dropped 25%, that would be June of 2020. The same price point. So for those that are, wondering, yeah, you know what? We're not going to be at the peak anymore for a little bit. So for that time being, but you also have some good opportunity to buy. If home prices do drop, they're not dropping to record lows. We were at record highs just back in 2021, 2020. So just know the market's always going to come back up at some point, and you just got to make the right decision for you and your family and the people you care about if it's the right time. And that's why we need to get together to talk about that if you do have questions. Let's take a look at the hyper-local market, starting with Reno. We're going to compare this to last year's numbers. $569,000, up almost 0.5% over last year. Active inventory has more than doubled from last year, up to 728 homes on the market. And if you remember, 1,265 homes total this year, which means that kind of give you perspective of how many homes are taking up the market between Reno and Sparks. And you can also see that median days to contract has obviously jumped up quite a bit as well. So some interesting info there. Let's taking a look at Sparks, $503,500 for median home price in Sparks, up 0.7% year over year. Active inventory at 296 homes for sale, 162% higher year over year. But also look at this, median days to contract. Yes, 218% more than last year in days to contract. But if you remember Reno, it was 51 days to contract. So I thought that was kind of interesting that homes are selling quicker in Sparks. Driving out east to Fernley, $370,000 median home price, up 1.5% year over year, with active inventory at 151 homes available. Days to contract is actually higher than Reno or Sparks at 62 days to contract. Let's head to our capital of Carson City, $470,000. Wow, 7.8% less than a year ago. That was very interesting. So we definitely didn't see them come up as high. Taking a look at inventory, 128 homes available, only 85.5% more than last year. Median days to contract is 39 days, so not as long as Fernley or Reno, same as Sparks currently, so kind of interesting there. Heading south, farther south to Gardnerville and Minden, median home price of $580,000. We saw days to contract at 41 days, and inventories up, 158 homes available right now. To close us out of these, we have the condo townhomes in Reno Sparks. You can see that home prices are at $316,500 for a median home price, up year over year 10.9%. Inventory at 205 available, and that's up 130% year over year. 38 days to contract, and we saw 86 homes hit the market this month of November. That is 39% year over year change. So definitely just some interesting things going on in the market. Like I said, I think a lot of people are just kind of watching and seeing what's going to happen over the next few months. And for them, I think the market's going to kind of stay flat for the time being. And I think they're watching interest rates, they're seeing what other people are doing, and they're going to make their decision probably in 2023. So if you want to beat those people into the market, give me a call, let me know. I'll put my information below and I'd be happy to help you. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button over here and watch my other videos right up here. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and Merry Christmas.